Good evening, everyone. We Ride, Mike and Stace returns. It's been a while. It's actually been since July 28th. That we've done a podcast. We've tried to do something different. We do completely raw, unscripted, unedited, wherever we're at. Right now we're sitting outside, so you'll hear the bugs, the birds, the cars. Everything. I don't know. It's not quite the reaction that we had hoped.
Mm-hmm.
By doing something different, it seems like most people want the
scripted,
the
commercialized.
The commercialized. I think that's the best way to put it. That's not us.
No.
So our podcast will be, a little more sporadic going forward. And we're not going to force content.
No.
We're going to wait for the content to come. The content did come. And I'm going to start out by saying that the episode is going to be about Charlie Kirk. And if you are celebrating what happened to Charlie Kirk, you need to stop listening now. In fact, if you were celebrating that it was a 22-year-old that's going to be put to death, you need to stop listening now too, because we shouldn't be celebrating that either.
Not.
You can celebrate the fact that the person that murdered him was caught, but it was a 22-year-old kid.
Yeah, that just added a whole different element.
That's a kid. So
the whole thing is just horrific.
The world is broken.
Yeah.
When you have a 22-year-old kid doing what he did. It's a public service announcement.
Yep.
Before we get into the meat of the episode. Everybody knows what happened. Everyone's seen the videos. You didn't see the video for a couple of days.
Yeah. I thought I was spared.
Yeah.
I, in fact, was not.
In fact, you were not spared.
No.
So, that video, a couple days later, still made it on the social media.
Yeah. Sickening. Right.
That should not. That's graphic.
Yes.
I thought there were algorithms to prevent that.
Yeah. Well.
But
not
did
so
not.
much.
So, I know this is not the normal jovial episode that we do.
No, but this is real life. This is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the hard things that need to be discussed.
Right. We started listening. There's another podcast that we used to listen to on a regular basis, and Stacey said, "Oh, I wonder if they did one." So we actually started listening to it. I'm not going to name any specifics or anything about it, but they sold out.
Yeah,
they definitely sold out because there were the commercials on there, and then it wasn't even their own content; it was content of other people. Come on now.
Yeah, and I mean, I used to value their opinions and what they said. That's why I would listen to them. Yeah, and we started listening to it, and after about the second, we should listen to a couple sets of commercials, which, that's fine. And then the woman that they put on there, they literally were playing snippets of other people's content, and I'm like, no, shut it off. We're done.
And a podcast is supposed to be your opinions.
Right.
Some people like your opinions. Some people don't like your opinions. Some people like hearing your opinions just to make fun of you, to make you think, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a podcast is, to get your opinions out there, and for people to, do whatever, not bring other people's, anyhow, we're not going to discuss that.
So that's that, right?
You know, what happened? It's tragic, to say the least. It was interesting. It's not the best word, but that's the only word I can think of right now. A couple of days ago, after all this happened, Stacey and I were talking, and I said, that it was the same thing essentially that happened to Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King Jr. He was out there. He was preaching his views. He was fighting for what he felt was right,
mm-hmm.
And he was silenced.
Yeah.
And Charlie, whether you agree or disagree, the man was out there, discussing, trying to get people to think about his views, his beliefs, the same damn thing, and he was silenced. And then all of a sudden, you show me a post on Facebook that was
a side by side.
Yeah, a side by side of them two. So
history repeating itself,
and it has since inception.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah,
because if you go back to Jesus, that was kind of the start of it all.
Yeah. And he was
when you want to silence somebody because they are making a difference,
and it's a difference that you don't agree with,
right?
Then you just kill them, apparently.
Yeah. And that's happened since the beginning.
Since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning. So,
which you would think that we'd be more civilized than that. It's 2025. Use your words, people. Aren't you taught that in preschool? And the sad thing of it is that this kid came from all appearances, a good, wholesome family.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Until
what happened?
Until he was essentially indoctrinated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now a 22-year-old
kid.
I mean,
is going to be tried
and he will
put to death.
And he will be put to death. Yeah. And so, there's two families that were.
So where have we
affected.
gone wrong?
So I think,
because that's the ultimate question.
I think that the parenting that like we did for our kids, let's say, is not. It just doesn't work anymore. When we sent our kids to school, they were teaching them what they should have learned. They weren't teaching them their personal opinions and beliefs and, politics and religion, what have you. They taught them math, reading, writing, what you're supposed to be. That's what they're getting paid to teach them, right? This isn't that world. So I think that we have to kind of combat it. And I think, like you and I were just talking about this a little bit ago, I really feel like we pay school taxes, and so essentially we are paying the administration in the schools, the teachers, all of their salaries. Mm-hmm. I feel like the parents should have access to the curriculum every year. Show me what you're going to teach my kid, and I don't want it sugar-coated. Give me what you're going to teach my kid. And then, listen, you want to teach them about, whatever they're going to teach them in kindergarten, like about trans people and sexuality, and you don't have to be a boy if you're, born a boy, and okay, that's what you're going to teach them. First of all, I do not agree with that at all. But as soon as you put your little one on that bus, so they walk through those school doors, unless you homeschool them, they're going to do whatever they want to do behind those doors. Mm-hmm. So we need to come at that from a different angle, right? We need to have the conversations that are going to be uncomfortable and difficult to have. I don't want to tell my kid I didn't want to have the birds and the bees talk with my kid in 6th grade, or Yeah, 6th grade. She came home and told me that a classmate was pregnant. So guess what? I did not plan on having that conversation. It needed to be had. I didn't plan on having it that early, let's say.
Right.
Literally, I sat down with her and I said, so what I'm about to tell you is going to be a little bit uncomfortable for you. And it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for me. But we need to have the hard conversation. Like, we need, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, moving forward, there was an open dialogue between myself and my kids. They're even to this day, to be honest. I know more about some of their friends and whatnot than I probably should have known. But if you have those hard conversations at home, they're not going to be afraid to come to you. Like, we learned this in school today. And then you can come at that from a different angle and say, well, what is your takeaway from that? How do you feel about that? And I feel like we need to have this from the time that they're small, quite frankly, through college at this point, because now you have these, professors and whatnot that are tenured that could give two craps less about our actual kids and their futures. They're just worried about padding their pockets. So that's my takeaway from it, is that I feel like we need to, as parents, be responsible. And it's unfortunate because it takes a village, and at least it used to. And now half that village is against you.
Well, the village is now your phone.
Yeah.
Or your pad, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Right.
I was trying not to swear, and I just dropped it. I was really trying not to swear.
Well, good job making it this far.
This episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said earlier, teachers now are teaching kids what to think instead of how to think.
Mm-hmm.
I made the comment earlier, about algebra. Who uses algebra today? I almost dropped the F-bomb there.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So who uses algebra today? I mean, you have a few people
sure.
that use it. But it was about teaching how to think.
Mm-hmm. That
was the point of algebra. It was to teach you how to think in a logical manner. It wasn't about what to think. And that's where it's changed from everything that I've seen anyway. It's definitely changed to, and it's not right. It's definitely a broken system. Everything is just broken, and the people that can fix it, I think that, most people think that, the government, the teachers' unions, the teachers, all of that, can fix it, and it's not. If you read the Constitution, we, the people,
mm-hmm.
we are the ones that can fix it. We are the only ones that can fix it.
You're right, for sure. I just think that they get into our kids' heads. You're very impressionable. And this crap that they're seeing online, everybody's TikToks, Reels, everybody wants to be an influencer and whatnot. And, just some of this stuff is so ridiculous. Like, when we were talking about, in 2020 or whatever, when we were being told that, Black Lives Matter, and we've had this discussion, of course, before, and of course they matter. The fact that you're telling me that, what's wrong with you? That you feel like you have to tell us that. And what is so infuriating is, just 5 years ago, they were telling us that, but apparently they get to pick and choose whose life matters.
Mm-hmm.
Because on that day, Charlie Kirk's life didn't matter.
Right.
And so, why do they get to say that? It's actually pretty disgusting. And so, They didn't like what he said. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm sure I've seen him on TV and whatnot, but before that day, I didn't really know who he was.
I'd heard the name, but I didn't, and I had seen a few snippets of his debates, and I found them a little bit entertaining, but not entertaining enough, quite frankly, to look any more into it.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, now I know his life story.
Right.
Yep.
But because they silenced him, they just created a whole freaking army. Because now we are Charlie.
We are Charlie. But we cannot remain silent.
No.
But we have, excuse me, it can't be the hate that is spewed. Everybody, including us, is responsible for this 22-year-old. Because of hate that, we've sat here on this podcast and we've talked about people in a very negative,
for sure,
called people names and that's the same shit, that indoctrinates these people.
Yeah, but it's when they go a little bit too far. Like, you have to be a free thinker and think for yourself and not let people pour their opinions and whatnot. Like, the kid was changed within a year.
Mm-hmm.
Where was...
So where's the system broken? It was a year.
And his parents had him for, 18 years.
Between social media and... Oh, wait. Between social media.
Mm-hmm.
I've said in the past, and I think it's quite ironic that we're doing a podcast that we're going to post on social media.
Right.
That I say social media has ruined America.
It's the misuse of social media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all know, we've also discussed the fact that I'm 100% addicted to my phone. But I know when to put it down. Yep. Like, if I'm with friends and family, you don't need to be on your phone. That to me is just an entertainment purpose, or in case I do Google a multitude of things. But other than that, like, it's entertainment. Like, I read, I watch TV. Of course, I go on social media and whatnot. But that is not who I am. That just fills my time. Mm-hmm. And, I'm entertained by some of these people or whatnot, but just because they say something different or think something different, to be quite honest with you, I'll read something and I'll be like, well, that's ignorant. And then I just continue to scroll. Because what does that have any bearings on my life whatsoever? Like, that's their opinion. That's fine. I don't have to agree with it. I don't even have to let it affect me. I just, have my thought, keep scrolling, and then, 5 minutes later, I don't even remember what I saw.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We all have, every single person comes to the table with something different. A different point of view, a different outlook, and that's what makes America great.
Yeah.
Because if everybody was the same, how much fun would that be?
It'd be boring.
It would be so boring. It would be a terrible world. You need different people from different walks of life, different everything. Diversity is what makes America great. People from all different walks of life, people from all over the world, documented and legal, of course. But seriously, and that's how you learn and grow as a person, is listening to other people. You don't have to agree with it. But sometimes it's nice to step outside of your own little world and learn something from someone else. And whether you agree with it or you don't, take it for what it's worth, move on.
We are the ones responsible to put an end to the hate, to the name calling.
Yeah.
There's always been this, belief of the trickle down effect.
Sure. I 100% believe that.
And
what you put out into this world.
And when you talk about the trickle down effect from, from our leaders, down to us peons, if you will. This is actually one time where the trickle-down effect, we need to be the voice, and we need to lift it up, because our leaders, quite frankly, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on,
they've lost their way.
Want to keep us divided.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't want to keep us divided, you wouldn't see the name calling and everything like. And look, we're both very much conservative. Oddly enough, conservative with liberal views. So,
right.
I mean, we're registered Republicans. We believe, something. Technically, we're more independent than anything, because, we have beliefs that are on both sides.
I'm more liberal than some of my Democratic friends.
But the change isn't going to come from the top down. The change is going to come from the bottom up.
Right.
We need to lift up that change.
Right. So if you can't see the good, be the good. We all need to do this for Charlie.
Right. And it doesn't matter if you believe in what he, spoke about. The fact is, he went out and he spoke what he believed in.
Right.
We all need to go and speak what we believe in without attacking the others.
Right.
You and I don't believe the same things. We're married.
Right.
Happily married.
Yep. It
works.
Yep.
Because we respect one another's viewpoints. I'm educated on your viewpoint. Try that one more time.
Yeah, right.
Viewpoints.
Right.
So it works.
But we have had the tough conversations that sometimes people don't want to have because it's uncomfortable.
Right.
You need to get uncomfortable sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time you do.
Yeah, because they're important topics.
Yes, they're life-changing topics.
Absolutely.
They're topics that can turn to the point where you think as a 22-year-old you can go out and assassinate somebody, versus go and having a debate with this person, because that was his whole thing, was debating you. Why didn't this kid go and debate him? If you were so set in your beliefs
and your point of view was right,
why didn't you just go debate him? You hated him so much.
Right.
Why don't you go debate him?
Well, I will say another thing that I'm thankful for learning from Charlie is it has reaffirmed my Christian points of views, and it has actually made me even think a little bit deeper into some of them that maybe I believe a little bit different, more on the Christian side than I did before. And I only learned that, and that only opened my eyes listening to Charlie. So by trying to silence him, you just educated a lot more people, and probably turned a lot more people to at least look into Christianity and ask some questions and maybe reevaluate things in their own lives. So it kind of had the opposite effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, whether you agree with his points of view or not, and I think from everything that I've, read and seen, if you had data or facts to back it up, I think him and I could have had a good debate. And I don't think we would have walked away enemies by any means. You can't, just because you don't like somebody's point of view, you can't think that it's normal to kill him.
It's 100% not.
And that's by celebrating, what has happened. That's what you're doing. You're normalizing violence. Come on now.
So I've seen that he was gay. Now this is just what I've seen. Is it facts? I don't know. I really don't know. This is just stuff that I've read. And that he was with a trans person. I don't know whether this person was a woman turning. I have no idea. It just said trans person. But my point of views prior to this was I was pretty accepting, and even hearing something.
You were very accepting,
and I was a very huge advocate for. Listen, I mean, if that's your lifestyle, that has no bearings on my life whatsoever. You do you. I don't necessarily think that I'm so open and accepting anymore, because it's a lot of that community that is coming for him with their words and celebrating. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. You know what I'm saying. And it's like the population of, I would say, that community, LGBTQ+, is a fraction of the other population. The other, let's say, straight people, whatever. Single people, I don't know, whatever you want to say. But if you alienate yourself, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's what you're doing. Because coming from somebody who has been a massive advocate and accepting, and it just never bothered me. Like, it's just that's your lifestyle. That's you. You do you, friend, essentially.
Right.
But now that small population is attacking everyone else verbally, and even as far as that, and killing someone, you're going to lose. Like, you're losing all the people that you have in your corner.
Yeah, because, we end up going back to, I said earlier, we were discussing, anybody that's unsure of what they are, just watch fucking Kindergarten Cop. I swore twice. I'm 28 minutes, and I've only sworn
Actually,
twice.
You've done pretty well. You've done well.
Watch Kindergarten Cop. And everybody that's listening to this knows the exact part of Kindergarten Cop that I'm talking about.
And here's the thing. And I actually watched one of Charlie's debates with someone who, quite frankly, was a dude, because he was standing there with a full-ass beard. And he had like a frilly, and his dress was too small. Let me just say. It didn't even look right. And it was completely ridiculous. And Charlie's like, well, so, it is disrespectful to women for you to stand there in a dress and say that you're a woman when we can all see that you're not a woman. Like,
can you have a period?
Can you give birth?
Right.
I mean, just because you put a dress on doesn't make it factual.
Right. Yeah, I mean.
And even prior to that, I would be like, you know what? At times, we've actually had seen someone walking down the street. I think we were on vacation one time, and I was like, good for him. I'm like, he had his fishnets on, and like he had his wig, and I was like, his makeup was on point, like he looked good. And I literally said, good for him. For going out there and not giving a crap what anybody thinks. That's how big of an advocate for this community that I was. I don't know what my reaction would be now. I don't know how I would feel now. Because you can't make me believe something or accept something. Like, I already did.
Right.
I already did. And now you're just doing it. the opposite of what you essentially wanted, right? Most people are like us, and they're just like, you live your life. We could care less, but now you've made it a thing. You have literally turned it into now a thing. When for the majority of folks, it really wasn't before.
Couldn't just leave well enough alone.
Right. Never. Because I don't know who it would be, but someone somewhere out there likes to have like just the uproar and the discord and everybody against each other. And quite frankly, it's sickening. And it's the people it's those people, because the squeaky wheel gets oiled first. So the people that are bitching and that are loud, and it's the rest of us who literally just want to live our lives in peace and harmony and just get along and what have you. But now, I mean, it's like,
yeah, we really need to figure out, what Charlie was doing was, the way to do it. He was getting out there, and making people think. And we really need to figure out a way to carry that on, because we don't want, we don't need any more violence.
No.
Quite frankly, we don't need any more protests, because protests, they end in violence. And, that's what, I'm not even going to say the other side, because it's not the other side, because some of them are also, they realize that, what happened was wrong.
True.
It's the extremists.
That is a very good word for that. Yes.
We really need to fight back against the extremists.
Yeah.
And the way we fight back against the extremists is by not getting violent and getting our word out. Because if it comes down to violence, we'll win. I mean,
we're talking about trans people that dress up like dogs.
Yeah.
And they're trying to infuriate Gen X and older.
Yeah. I mean,
are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
No. You made it 33 minutes.
I made it longer than you.
You did.
It just, I'm very passionate about it, because it's just like, you know what? And it's really sad, because I feel like a lot of these kids just don't know their way. They're being told one thing at home. They go to school, they're being taught something else, or they're seeing it on their phones, and they're so confused. They don't have the direction that they need. And I really think that Charlie was doing that for a lot of people that were confused and had questions, and maybe they didn't walk away with his same point of view, but at least they had a better idea of maybe who they were or what they believe.
They started to think.
Yes.
They started to think on their own, and that that was his purpose.
Yes.
To make people think on their own, excuse me, and make their own decisions.
Yes.
And that's why he was out there. He wasn't trying to push his beliefs on you. His beliefs were his beliefs. And yes, he combated your rhetoric with his beliefs, but his ultimate goal was to make you think.
Yeah. Well, he definitely made me think. And it didn't work out for the extremists, so I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, it already took, because obviously I'm Christian. But now, in fact, when it happened, and I know that you and I have talked about this as well, but when it happened, I didn't even know him, but I just felt so upset and like our Christianity was under attack. And so I felt upset, I felt angry, I felt sad, and like the first thing that came to my mind was one of my favorite Bible verses, be still and know that I am God. And that brought me peace, and it made me feel a little bit calmer. I'm still angry about it and whatnot, but then knowing that essentially at the end of the day, God is in control of all of it, brought me peace. And so him being a Christian, I've read some things online too that said, like, you can't kill a Christian, you just change their address. Now, unfortunately, he had a huge purpose in life. We all know what that purpose was, and he was delivered back to our Lord. Because his purpose, I don't want to say his purpose was done. I think it's even bigger now, and his purpose and his presence will live on. But like you said, we have to continue it and make his purpose live on all of us, in all of us.
Yep. And like I said, whether you believe, what he spoke or not,
sure,
the fact that he had the courage to go out there and speak, what he believed and make people think,
yep,
you have to respect that. And if you don't respect that, then quite frankly, you are on the extremist path. And those are the ones that we need to combat. And like I said, we can't combat it with violence.
Because that's not the answer. Like, it's not. It never solves anything.
Right.
Communication goes a long way. And we've lost that ability to communicate maturely and respectfully, I think, in this country.
I agree. And I really think that we need to reevaluate our relationship with social media.
I agree with that.
And I think, the hate that, we spew, quit.
Yeah.
We need to quit it.
And I think because we are now raising tomorrow, right? Like, not you and I, of course, our kids are already raised, but like everybody that has kids, this is our tomorrow. You do have the power. No, you can't control what goes on at school, and you can't control when you pack them and send them off to college what goes on there. But you can be the voice in their head. Mm-hmm. You can have the hard conversations. It starts with us as parents. Mm-hmm. It's uncomfortable. But how do you think that mom and dad feel knowing that they had to deliver their kid to the authorities?
Right.
And now, essentially, he too will now die because of a choice that he made. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Obviously none of us knows what their household was like. But you have to have the hard conversations. And in my house, when the kids were small, they did have cell phones. And dinner was a no-phone zone. I got 20 to 30 minutes. Do not come to this dinner table with your phone or you don't eat. It's my time. I get this time, and that's it. And over that dinner table, man, I learned a lot. And not just like, how was your day? You learn who their friends are. What goes on, what did so-and-so do with their family this weekend? You become involved in your child's life, not just taking them to baseball. You take them to baseball, you find out, learn who their friends are. Make friends with the kids' friends. It needs to be a whole community. Mm-hmm. You're not just mom and dad. You really, it's a lot more than just making sure that their lunches are packed and their teeth are brushed.
Yeah.
And when we start at home, as they get older, once they get older, they move out. You don't really know what they're doing. But you hope that what you taught them at home, and that your voice comes up sometimes, like, what would mom do? What would mom say about this? I don't think that kid had his mom or dad's voice in his head anymore.
No, not anymore. He didn't.
It's so sad.
One of the most important lessons that can come from this particular podcast, this episode of this podcast, is do not let your phone or your tablet or computer or anything, raise your kids.
No.
Because
this is what happens.
This is what happens. If you want your kid to be exposed and influenced by the extremists, let your kids be raised by their phone, social media, their tablet, and on all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, this shit happens. How do we combat that? Family.
Yep.
And it's not even, blood family. It's a family that you choose.
Mm-hmm.
Family. That's how you combat this shit.
Yep.
And that's
what
anybody needs to take away from this right there.
Because like you said, the trickle effect, if we start when they're small. And parenting does have to be different now. It just does. It's unfortunate and it's going to be harder because now both parents work. And there's really not enough time left at the end of the day. You got to make the effort. Even just a little bit of effort every single day is going to go a long, long way. Most kids aren't going to turn out like this. But that family's kid did. And you don't want it to be your kid or someone you know.
And you can't fully take away, the social media aspect of it because that's a fact of life.
Sure.
Today. And if you completely take it away, then when they're, in quotes, an adult and can get exposed to it, quite frankly, they're even more impressionable because they haven't been exposed to it.
Right.
So there has to be a balance. But we have to be involved in our kids' lives. And if we're not involved in our kids' lives, this is the type of shit that happens. We need to embrace that people have different beliefs. And it's okay that people have different beliefs and different opinions. And
we don't have to agree with it.
Right.
I mean,
we just have
probably
to be
on a
able
daily
to talk
basis, I
about
see
it.
or talk to somebody that says something or does something that I don't agree with. Life goes on. It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
And if you say something that I don't like, okay,
right.
I mean, it's okay,
right, for
you to say something that I don't like. The reason that Charlie was silenced was not because of what he was saying and the fact that they didn't like what he was saying. The fact that he was making a difference and people were starting to pay attention.
Yep.
That's why he was silenced. And if we lose sight of that, then we are the problem.
You're right. You are right.
It doesn't matter what he said, what he believed in. The fact of the matter is, people were threatened by the fact that other people were starting to think.
Absolutely.
And that's the problem.
Yep.
And that's what we need to put an end to. And we need to forget about the trickle-down effect, and we need to start thinking about the lift-up effect. And we need to start now and lift it up. Because we can't rely on, our so-called leaders to do it for us. We the people. And I will continue to say we the people.
Yeah. If every single one of us does something every day, or any time that you have the chance to do something good for someone else, or be kind, do it. Because what you put out there, what we put out into this world will come back to all of us. Because the majority of people are good people. And I think that, I think that they're trying to make us believe that, put fear and scare us and whatnot. No. We live, they're in a bubble, the extremists. They don't know what it's like to live every day a normal life. We do. And we're out and about with people every day. And there is a lot of good in this world. And there are a lot of good people in this world. And I'll say there is way more good than evil in this world.
Right, definitely.
So, yeah.
Well, that was a heavy one.
Yeah, it was. Made it through without crying, though. So.
Yeah, you did. I think we swore 4 times. 3 of those were me. 1 of them were you.
Yeah.
I think we did good.
We did really good. Yeah.
You did good.
You did good for you. Yeah.
I did okay.
Yeah. You get a B. Maybe a B minus.
B minus. Oh, I almost swore again. I'm trying to do better on our podcast and not swearing so much.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It is, because
it is difficult.
We sprinkle the F word in there like confetti sometimes.
We do.
Even just when we're chatting.
Yeah, true.
Makes a colorful conversation. But anyways, we're off topic.
Yeah, I hope that, anybody listening to this, well, quite frankly, it makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want from this,
mm-hmm.
is for you to think a little bit, and not react with violence.
Absolutely.
Because people will be out there, and the interesting thing is, when you're on social media, and you actually said this, I think it was somebody that commented on something. Half the time that you comment on something and somebody comments something negative back, it's a freaking bot.
Yeah.
Trying to get you
to provoke.
Yep.
An argument.
Yep. So think about that. The next time
it's just not worth it.
You're on social media and you're posting something or you're sharing something, and we have to be responsible to stop the hate.
Yep, and get this turned around.
And we are the only ones that are going to get it turned around. Nobody's going to do it for us.
Each one of us individually,
yep.
You know what I mean? Because one voice might not make a difference, but a bunch of voices can.
Yes.
And will. We will make a difference. Mm-hmm. Well, and I shouldn't even say that because Charlie, one voice, mm-hmm. He's made quite the difference.
He did.
So, I pray for his family. And I do not pray for the kid, but I pray for his family as well. Because as parents of kids mm-hmm. around that age, that's tough. That's tough.
And like I said at the beginning of this, if you're celebrating the fact that, there's a 22-year-old that's, going to be, tried and put to death,
it's sad.
You're part of the problem.
100%. 100% that's part of the problem.
Yep. So,
yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Tomorrow when you get up and log on to Facebook and, start scrolling around and TikTok and, see what's going on. And just think a little bit more. Be a little more aware of what you do and how you react. And if you do that, that's how we start to change the world.
Yeah.
So,
well said.
I got nothing else.
Me neither.
All right.
So, in memory of Charlie.
In memory of Charlie.
You will not be forgotten.
This episode will be titled, We Are Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
So, with that, Mike and Stace signing off.
Have a great week, everybody. Bye.